Good morning, misadventurers. It is I, Kat Kruger, ordinarily the Dungeon Master here at D20 Dames. My pronouns are she, her. We're on a bit of an extended break from the podcast right now. D20 Dames is a family-friendly um, D&D podcast, actual play podcast, and we just wrapped up our second campaign um, called Wanderleaf, which is essentially inspired by Hilda, the graphic novel and Netflix series. It's a Monster of the Week adventure where a bunch of tween magic users sort of are friends and explore this world where in this village they are befriending a bunch of garden gnomes in Wyoming. Anyway, that is not what we're doing today. I have been playing a bunch of solo RPGs. I started off with Untitled Moth Game, and that was a very short one, but it really got me into playing solo RPGs, and now I'm playing Apothecaria. Here's my little printout. It's by Anna Blackwell, and I've been playing this for a few months now, on and off, because sometimes I have to take Mondays off due to childcare, and that will be the case for most of the summer. Hello. Hello, Kyla. So nice to see you. Or see you in chat anyway. Yes, I'm playing Apothecaria. It's been really cute. It's very cozy. It is this game where it's called a solo potion making RPG, and I play a village witch named Maisie. Early on, I got a familiar in the forest, and it was a spirit. So I got to pick what form it took, and I decided it would be a Kodama or like a forest spirit. If you've ever seen Princess Mononoke, there was a little creatures in the forest. They're from Japanese mythology, but I really like the idea of these little Kodama being in the forest. So I've named my familiar Pinecone, and Pinecone helps tend to my little garden plot at my witch cottage. We're also trying to figure out what happened to the previous witch. So I started off as a novice witch, and I've been slowly working my way up. I'm now an advanced witch, and we've been trying to figure out what's going on, what happened to the previous witch. Um, this game is oh, almost forgot the most important part of this game is a deck of playing cards. Andy, I will absolutely do a recap because I need it for me as well because it's been a while. I had to take a couple weeks off due to childcare, um, and now I'm back. So I will do a recap. Um, this game is based on writing prompts, which is, as I've said before, really fantastic if you are a creative, particularly somebody who does a lot of writing, because the writing prompts for me, I start my work week off essentially doing this, and it is so helpful to just get ideas flowing. Everything I do is based on a writing prompt that I draw from a standard deck of cards. Um, and if I ever draw a joker, it's a prompt for me to be able to get a clue about what happened to the previous witch. Um, so I have 4 tables that I can draw from, and how I've been playing it is every time I advance in my witchdom, I advance in the table of clues. So as a novice, I went through first steps, and those were, you know, they weren't very deep clues. And then the next table was about the witch. Again, not too deep, but got to know a little bit more about the witch. And then now I'm on a table called The Plot Thickens. And actually, now that I'm speaking about this whole table thing, I think I might have accidentally I might have drawn a Joker card and then not resolved it because I ran out of time. So I might need to go back. I'm not sure. Hello, Jen. Yes, your mom is in chat too. It's so nice. Okay, so I will talk to you about a recap because you really did not need to have watched all the previous ones. I started off as a novice witch, and I'm in a village called Hyrannock. It is a small village that, so the villagers are very ailment prone, it seems like, because every single week I um, I cure an ailment from one of the villagers. And that's essentially how the game plays out is, every week cure somebody. I get to, generate the character name, their job, and then based on the writing prompts, it'll be their ailment. Um, each ailment has tags associated with them in order for me to find the reagents in the local area. So there's like a forest, mountain. Um, there was like a dungeon that was built into. I had decided was built into the bones of a thorn dragon. Um, so it's just all these like really interesting things that you can build in this little world. They are constantly unwell, and some of them are prone to getting the same element or similar elements. So it's pretty funny. The other part of the game is exploring the world and trying to uncover more about the witch. So usually what I'll do is I'll spend a portion of the stream curing some ailments. So it's essentially one ailment per week. And then I can go off exploring. Some of the ailments have timers on them. And if I don't get the reagents in time, there's like a consequence. So far, I've been pretty lucky because I've been foraging and building up an inventory of resources. And so that's saved me a couple times from not meeting the timer. And let's see, what else is important? We've had a couple of festivals so far. There was a spring festival, a flower festival, in which I was crowned the queen of the festival, and I got a flower crown. The flower crown allows me to forage for plants more easily. My Kodama familiar also allows me to forage for magic items more easily. So with this combination, it's also been a great help. I have one garden plot that was left by the witch, and we've planted what's called songberries. And the songberries add sweetness to potions. And I do get paid for the potions, and as I advance, I get paid more and more. But if you add sweetness to a potion, you get 4 extra silver. So, been saving up to get, essentially to get Pinecone a bigger, I want to get a greenhouse for Pinecone. And in the greenhouse, I could plant some more um, reagents, which would be great. But that costs 500, and I've had to buy other things like a wand in order to harvest harvest some types of reagents. And then I also got a broom at the last summer festival. Um, so the broom allows me to fly into the cloud isles, which is what we did last time. Actually, for the past 2 sessions, we've done flying through the cloud isles, which has been very eventful. Usually, there's there's some terrible animal encounter, and last time did not disappoint because there was I think it was a wyvern that chased us through the clouds. Pinecone was not happy about that. All right. I think that's essentially it. Um, we found out some details about the witch. She studied under giant who's a guardian of the mountain named Orog. That's how she learned magic. And she's also really into tea and tassiomancy, so tea leaf reading and divination. This is very true, Andy. Wherever Maisie goes, ailments and troublesome creatures follow. That's her life. Um, all right. I think what else have we learned about the witch? We learned that she's not the only witch in her family. She has at least a cousin who's part of a coven. Um, we got a postcard and could not respond to the cousin because there was no return address. And her favorite book is Boba Yaga's Baba Yaga and the Raven's Dream. We found that book, and we also discovered that she was preparing for um, some sort of ritual or some sort of special solstice that was about to happen. Um, and that's part of the mystery that we've added a detail to. She also started a community tea garden, so the villagers are able to uh, get tea leaves. Is Maisie poisoning villagers? Yeah, I mean there is the possibility that some of the reagents have poison, and she does need to she does if she doesn't offset it with sweetness with the songberries, uh, the she gets less silver for it. Um, the former witch is named Dahlia. I think I named her Wolf Moon. Um, and because she's so into tea, in the last session we discovered she also had made a tea golem, and initially the tea golem kind of got out of control and was wreaking havoc all around the village, and then Dahlia was able to get under control, and now it is essentially like um, a guide to the community tea garden. So it waters the plants and shows people around, and the tea golem is named Golly. Um, and I think that is pretty much the update. All right, now we can get into the game. We are in autumn week 6, and at week 13 there will be an autumn festival, but I don't think we'll get there this session. This is a fairly slow game, at least the way that I'm playing it. Very cozy, um, sometimes silly, low stakes. We've occasionally met or encountered some scary things, but they're fairly easily resolved. It usually is just something that reduces our timer and is a bit of a nuisance in that way. Occasionally we get an injury, but the injuries are usually pretty mild. Um, so I think what we'll do for the first little bit is cure some ailments, and then I guess we'll try to look around one of the local areas, and maybe I'll get some input on where we're going to go next. Because we did cure a Loch Ness type creature a little while ago, and that allowed us to go deeper into Meltwater Loch, and we could I think it's the bog that we can get into based on that, or Deepwater Depths. I can't remember, but either in either case, we could explore a little bit further for that, or go elsewhere. Um, okay, so let me start by finding a name from my fantasy random generator here. And I like to go and usually get hobbit names. Got my journal all set up here. Okay. Let's see. I'm also going to draw the ailment. I got an ace. Hmm. So usually what I do is I just fill in my journal and then I will role play Maisie doing what I'm calling spell health consults. Hmm. Okay. So I think Maisie is probably in the garden again with Pinecone. Maybe they're actually relaxing for once. And up along the path, she sees one of the villagers coming towards her with a bouquet of flowers. Um, and she'll just sort of say, "Hello, um, how are you? What a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Oh, it's for me. How kind of you. I don't think I've seen you around town before. Oh, you're the florist. I must have missed you at the flower festival." Um, then she sort of takes the bouquet and takes a deep whiff and then she hands them over to Pinecone. And as she sort of looks over at the villager, she's asking, and what's your whew, and what's your name? Oh, Pansy Mugwort. Pleased to meet you. Oh, um, there seems to be something in the air. Oh, it's not something in the air. It's oh my yes. Well, come on into the cottage. Um, it's not natural to have that aroma coming off of a person. Um, um, all right. Well, based on what I'm wafting here, it seems like have you eaten a mushroom lately? I oh you have you've been foraging. Yes, it seems like you've eaten a mushroom that you really shouldn't have. Um, what's your what you're breathing out is the spores, and it's causing a bit of a noxious cloud to come off of you. I would say best to keep the flowers close to you, and I'll be off into the local area foraging and get you set right with a potion. Um, okay, so we have a villager who has spore breath, um, and yeah, she's releasing these these spores into the air, and we have six. A timer is set to 6. Um, the tags that I have are parasite, lungs, and mouth. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into my resources and see if I have some of the ingredients so that I don't have to find them right now. So I have one dentist crab, which um, takes care of mouth and lungs if it is 2 stars. So I just have to check to see where I found dentist crab. Probably in Meltwater Lock. Yes, and it is a 2-star item. So then I just need parasite, which I do not have. So um, what I'll do is I will move this dentist crab into my recipe book. Dentist crab. And I'm just going to take a look and see if I can find something that cures parasite. Oh, it's actually a level 2 parasite. Okay, so I'm going to go take a look to see if I can find a reagent that is level 2 for parasites. Okay, Whisper of a Cat. Seems like I picked that up before. I must have picked it up and then not gotten any extras. All right, so I am going to go into the forest to forage for Whisper of a Cat. And again, the really great thing about having a Kodama familiar is that pinecone reduces the time or the difficulty to the difficulty of finding magic items by, oh, it's been so long. Is it 2 or 3? Reduces it by 3 to a minimum of 1. So that makes it really easy because I just have to go to the village and essentially the difficulty is a 2. So I essentially just need to get an ace, right? And yes, an antifungal mouthwash sounds perfect. All right, and luckily, got an ace. I think I'm actually going to collect a couple of these so that I can have extra. So I have a timer of 6 here, so that was 1. And then I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, let's go with 5. Joker. Okay, I'm gonna put that aside and resolve it in a moment. Just grab one more. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in my resources. That means I've got Whisper Cat. And that is Parasite and Sleep Tags. All right, so we have reagents that are Dentist Crab and Whisper of a Cat, and I will put in Songberry for good measure so that we get that extra 4 silver pieces. And taking potion name recommendations now. So this is something that cures spore breath, and we're using Dental Whisper Crab Cat. Yeah, I don't think I ever had a. I've only had one cat, and she definitely was not a whisperer. Um, I don't know. Dental Whisper. Let's go back to the suggestion of an antifungal mouthwash. Maybe something about Snippet because of the crab part of the potion. Breath Snippet. Gosh, I'm really out of ideas this morning. Yeah, I know. Can't figure out how to tie in spores without saying spores. What? Let's go back to the description of the ailment, maybe. All right, so the former witch has this journal, and she's listed out her commentary. So she says, the afflicted has eaten a mushroom that they really shouldn't have. Now, when they breathe, the spores are released in a noxious cloud. Maybe something with the cloud. Disperse. Yeah. Dental dispersal. How about that? I just like it for the alliteration. All right, I'm gonna go with that because I don't think we're gonna be able to figure out something more clever. Dental dispersal, but go team. All right, so that means we got 44 silver for that. Oh my goodness, we have enough to get a greenhouse. However, we also have to resolve the Joker card. So yeah, I think Maisie, she whips up this potion and the pansy just drinks it back, and I think pansy just sort of like lets out a cough, and then the noxious cloud sort of like fades out into like a visual whisper and disperses. All right, so a couple things here. We need to resolve the Joker card, which is always exciting because I get to draw a prompt from the plot thickens table this time. Let's take a look here. All right, so we're going to find out another clue about what happened to the former village witch on the plot thickens chart. We've already got an ace, so I'm not going to do that. Another Joker card. Okay, and I've shuffled this very thoroughly. Another 5, which we already got. Okay, got a 7. Okay, it says, you find an important letter addressed to the witch. Did they receive it or did it never reach them? What does it say? Interesting. All right, I'm just going to go back in the journal because I think there was something. I want to just take a look at that other note about what she was preparing for. She's making preparations for a solstice in which several celestial bodies would align. No mention of where she was going to view it or what the items would be used for. Curious. I think that she never received this letter, and it is from her wizard friend. Who maybe pulled up a detail about this solstice, a very important detail about the solstice, and she never received it on time. All right, so going to write in the journal here, and then I'll read it after. Okay. So what I've written is, while going through an old stack of letters, I came across the letter addressed to Dahlia Wolfmoon from the old wizard who had visited a while back. Hopeful to find some clues about her whereabouts, I carefully peeled off the wax seal from the unread letter. The wizard warned Dahlia that in his research about the solstice, an important item would need to be used, the celestial sundial. Given how she had not read the letter, I feared she may not have been fully prepared for her task. Did something horrible befall her? And because I pulled another joker, I'm going to draw another writing prompt here. We'll see if we get something more interesting. Also, 3. Okay, you find out that the witch was planning a trip, maybe a ticket to somewhere, or a bookmark in a book about another realm. Where were they going? What reason could they have for going there? So I think I'm going to tie this into the whole celestial solstice thing. And I like the idea that it's about going to another realm. Or maybe another plane, actually. Yes, Andy. Thinking the same thing. I'm actually going to take it another step further and make it another plane. Okay, back to the journal. With my curiosity piqued, I searched through the cottage for more clues as to where Dahlia might have gone. When I spotted another dog-eared book from her beloved Yaga series, I flipped through the pages and discovered a tucked-away note. It outlined what was needed to open a portal to the celestial plane. Is that where she is now, or did something happen when she opened the portal? All right. Um, yeah, so we have discovered quite a few things about the witch at this point. Much more than we've discovered in previous Joker polls. And I think that's going to be a good place to pause for a short break here. I will be back in about 10 minutes and, 5 to 10 minutes. And we'll probably go exploring the area to see if we can find out more information about what's going on in our surroundings, and I don't know, maybe find a portal somewhere. All right, I'll be back in about no more than 10. All right. Hello, I am back, and we are in the second half of this stream. So I was thinking we would do some exploration, and I will go through some of our options here. So we've got the village, which we visited early on, and we also get to sort of visit the village more frequently than the other spots because we get the opportunity to do so during the festivals. Um, so this one is a little bit less exciting to me, just because I feel like a lot of this is stuff that we can actually do during festival time. Let's see. But I will read what the witch has written here. So the village also has certain shops and utilities, which I forgot about. Yeah, I am also looking forward to visiting the Celestial Plane because this is the great thing about um, creating your own world. You get to do things like visit celestial planes. All right, so the village actually, it says here you may also visit certain shops and utilities in the village, and that's on page 31. Let's see, we've got, I'll read what the former village witch said. The village of High Rannoch is a special place that you can visit freely to obtain some useful things that you might otherwise be struggling to find. At any point during an ailment, you may decrease the timer by 1 to go to the village and visit the services detailed below, or you may want to explore the village to find the few special reagents that can be found there. So we've got the Copper Fox Tavern, where we can hire an adventurer to accompany us. Lunar Tower, attune our equipment and have better luck at finding reagents. Bits and Bobs, decrease the timer by 1 to have the friendly shopkeep check their reagent collection. Oh, cool. And you draw 3 cards from your stock. And then there's the Ritual Circle, which we use to summon Pinecone. All right, well, I guess it's good to know for if I feel like we're stuck with finding reagents. She also says here, "Hi, Rannoch, home to all those poor souls that come to you for help. The people are welcoming and kind, the food is hearty, and the village radiates that quiet peace that most city folk find painfully boring." We also have Glimmerwood Grove, a famously mystical forest. Glimmerwood is home to all manner of fey creatures, including fairies, giants, unicorns, and, worst of all, will-o-wisps. Moss blankets the forest floor, while towering oaks and willows stretch high above. Keep an eye out for the ley lines, standing stones, and fairy circles. Now, Glimmerwood is one that we have been to before. I want to say this is where yes, we met a naiad here. And let's see, Blastfire Bog. Unreachable until you get a coracle, which I don't believe we have yet. I will read here. It says, "A beautiful but treacherous swamp that lurks past the territory of the giant spiders. Blastfire gets its name from the swamp gas bog dragons or the goblins who live there, depending on who you ask. For those brave enough, the bog has amazing vistas and some of the most unique flora in High Rannoch." So if we wanted to go here, we would need to buy a coracle. And we did just get enough silver to buy a greenhouse for Pinecone. So maybe not. Pinecone is very eager for that. greenhouse. Meltwater Loch is one that we've been to a few times now because we were trying to cure, or at first we were trying to discover that Loch Ness creature called the Basbata, and it had a shattered tooth which we cured, and it has allowed us into another area called Deepwater Depths, Dreamwater Depths, which I'll read about next. But Meltwater Loch, I'll read. Crystal clear waters surrounded by secretive sandy beaches tucked between the rocky outcrops. Several picturesque islands break the surface of the water, while vibrant marine life teems below. Not all is idyllic, however, as the loch is home to a fair share of sunken ships and a great beast known as Basbata. Like I said, the Loch Ness type creature is no longer really a threat to us because we did cure it. Um, However, we visited this area several times, and I'm not really sure that it would be overly fruitful to visit again. Now, here's one. Dreamwater Depths. I think this is going to be the winner because it's unreachable until Basbata has been cured, and we have not been here yet. We opted to take the broom for a spin last time in the Cloud Isles instead. And the former witch Dahlia says, down in the depths of Meltwater Loch lay the ancient ruins of a beautiful city. Colorful stone, elegant stained glass windows, and an architecture that rivals our best today. The depths have an aura of mystical peace to them that can turn to dread if one drifts too far. What will you discover? I think that is actually going to be the one that I go to. Moonbreaker Mountain is where we have our giant friend, and we had a lot of animal encounters there. Cloud Isles we just went to. Oh, here's Hollow is the one that's built in the bones of a thorn dragon. And then there's something called the Strange, but we have to look through Hero's Hollow more to unlock something. So I think I'm gonna say that we go to Dreamwater Depths because we have not been there yet. Maybe next time we'll go to Hero's Hollow to see if we can unlock whatever the Strange is. Hello, Jane. Nice to see you. We just discovered a bunch of. I drew 2 Joker cards this time, and we discovered that the witch had been trying to get to the celestial plane. Unfortunately, she had an unopened letter also that essentially said that she was missing a very important sundial. So that sort of set up the possibility that something went wrong when the witch was trying to open up this celestial portal for the special solstice. All right, so I'm going to move over into the journal now as we begin exploration of Dreamwater Depths. Now, all right, so I will draw a card from the deck. And that is a 6. And my writing prompt is, you see a black horse diving down from above. It swims at you as fast as a horse can run. Of course, our first one is going to be an animal encounter. You manage to escape and take shelter in one of the mostly intact houses. Outside, the Kelpie tries taking a human form to lure you out. What does it do or say? Does it work? Decrease timer by 1. Oh yes, I have a timer of 13. If I go past that, I lose a reputation point because the villagers think I'm just slacking off. So I'm going to write down 1 here just as a note for myself. All right, Kelpie. I think maybe this Kelpie was actually just really eager to see somebody. Like a, I remember having a horse encounter. I used to own this piece of land in Halifax, just outside of Halifax in Canada, and one of the neighbors just had a couple horses on the property to graze, and they were just like they would be so excited. Um, Massive horses. They'd be so excited to see humans and would just come racing down the hill. The first time it happened, it was kind of alarming because, you know, they're big horses and running at you at full speed. Um, so I feel like this is a similar experience. All right, I'm gonna write in my journal and then read it. I am going to look up a name here. Kelpies are in this fantasy list here. Let's see. Take a name from the unicorn list. All right, so I will read from the journal. And yes, Andy, it was a terrifying first experience because I was very concerned that I was going to get trampled, but they turned out to be super, super friendly horses that just wanted pets. uh, all right, so what we have here is Pinecone and I made our way to Dreamwater Depths. Dreamwater Depths, waving to the Bazbata on our way down. No sooner than we'd reached the underwater city than did a black horse swim toward us at breakneck speed. We fled into one of the mostly intact houses, unsure if this was friend or foe. Our luck with the local fauna has not been the best. It turned out to be a Kelpie by the name of Gil, who was eager to show visitors around as a tour guide of sorts. All right. As a result of this encounter, I had to reduce the timer by one, so I'm now up to 2 turns here. And let's draw another card here. Ace. As you swim through the cracks of a tall blue bricked building, you see a marble fountain set into the floor. Strangely, the water in the fountain seems to be cleaner than the water everywhere else. If you dip a moonstone in the water, it will be usable again, or you may take a vial for a single purify use. I don't know what purify is. This is not something that I am familiar with. I don't recall reading anything about purifying things. I don't have a moonstone anyway that I'm aware of. All right, well, I'm just going to take a vial of this and we'll see what I can do with it in the future if I need to purify something. I'm just going to essentially paraphrase what happened here in the journal. All right, so I'm going to add this into my inventory. Okay, let's see. Probably get a couple more um, writing prompts here. Okay, so I drew 4. Oh, and I'll read that before I go on. While touring a tall blue brick building, Gil showed us a fountain so pure that it made the surrounding water look sullied. Gil explained a moonstone could be recharged here, but I was free to take a vial to purify something in the future. That brings us to 3. And I drew a 4 just now. So the prompt here says, the hair on the back of your neck stands on end. You turn just in time to see a massive gar heading towards you. Swimming as hard as you can, you manage to take cover in one of the fallen buildings. Decrease timer by 1. Now I need to look up what a gar is. Does anyone know? Type of fish? Oh gosh. So it's a rather large fish, and it has, like, if you Google it, it looks prehistoric. It's got like this long um, beak almost with very sharp teeth in it, and definitely something you do not want to be chased by underwater, especially if it is exceptionally large. Okay, so I'm going to write in my journal here about this encounter. Um, yeah. Did you take a look, Andy? So many teeth. There's so many teeth in that mouth. Um, as I collected the water, the hair on the back of my neck stood on end. When I turned around, it was just in time to avoid an attack by an exceptionally large gar. Gil helped us escape and take cover in a fallen building where we waited until the creature grew bored and swam off. All right, so decrease the timer by one. So that means we're down to five now, I think. Up to five now, 5 turns. All right. All right, I think we'll see how this goes. I might just have time for one more. The five. And what we have here is rounding one of the corners, you see a dazzlingly colorful merfolk dancing in the street. They spot you and invite you to dance with them. What are they celebrating? Hmm. I'm going to draw a mermaid name. Hmm. Yeah, there's a good one. All right, what are they celebrating though? Um, All right. So I have here, we all made our way around the corner and were met by the sight of a colourful merfolk dancing in the street. They introduced themselves as Reef and invited us to dance in celebration of returning to these waters after a failed romance on land. Okay. What does that bring us to? That's 6. Okay. We're about halfway. I'm thinking I will draw one more and then call it from there. And we'll do the rest the next session. Okay, here we go. It's a 7. You swim into a large cave, and find beautiful glowing crystals growing from every surface. As you swim between them, you feel a magical euphoria wash across you and find yourself in bliss. And here it says we gain 4 foraging points, but again, I, I have not really been able to determine how these foraging points um, work when you're just exploring. All right. So I'm just going to write a quick little journal entry about this and then wrap up. All right. I am trying to make use of my headphones again. We'll see. Can you hear me? Okay, good. It seems like captions have stopped working though. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm wrapping up here. All right. Oh, it's caught up now. Okay, I'm going to read the last bit of my journal. And here we go. Uh, After the lovely dance, Gil showed us a crystal cave where a magical energy washed over me and filled me with utter bliss. And I'm going to mark here that we're up to 7 in our um, in our countdown timer, and wrap up before my headphones die yet again. um, yeah, this has been really fun. I've really enjoyed going into Dreamwater Depths. Next time we're going to just wrap up there and maybe do a couple more curing of ailments so that we can move up in our reputation score, and then maybe check out um, Heroes Hollow, if not next time, then the time before, time after. Can't go backwards in time. um, all right. My schedule should be pretty good for the next few weeks. When we get into the end of July, beginning of August, I'm going to have some time off on the Mondays because of childcare again, but I should be good for the next few weeks. Um, I do appreciate everyone who joined again today. Thank you so much for all your input and the chat in on Twitch here. And I don't have much else to say. Like I'm really enjoying this game. I think it's probably gonna take the rest of the summer to finish it. And then I might do just a short one shot in between this and whatever the longer form solo RPG is going to be. And if you like what you're seeing here, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/d20dames, which you can, if you become a patron for $2, $5, or $10, you get access to our things like my journal entries, which I try to post before I stream again. And then the video on demand will be on YouTube. And you also get access to our Discord where we talk about food and crafts and other mostly cozy things. I have to say, I think our vibe is pretty much just cozy, family friendly. I'm really enjoying Apothecaria too. I hope that you all get a chance to play it because it's been really fun. Like I said, as a creative uh, outlet, I'm loving how it helps me start my week off, and it's been really fun being able to collaborate with you on things like potion names. All right, well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Okay. Until then, Misadventure Away.